Brandy from Brandy's Book World. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to show you what I read in the month of March. So in March I actually joined NetGalley, so I think you're gonna see my kind of trying to take on the challenge of reading NetGalley and library books and prepping for books that I want to read for festivals and other events that I'm going to. So it's gonna be crazy. I thought about trying to do middle grade March, but that didn't really work very well, and so anyway, check out what I read. The first book that I read is The Witch Doesn't Burn in This One by Amanda Lovelace. This is the second poetry anthology. It's almost not an anthology, like it's a collection, but they all have this common theme. I still haven't read The Princess Saves Herself in this one, but I know I'm gonna love it. I gave this book 5 stars because it was amazing. If you like feminist reads and strong female characters, this is going to be you. Men, you should read this too, but seriously, every woman should read this. It was powerful, and yes, there are trigger warnings for rape and abandonment and abortion, but as a woman, it was just amazing. There are so many ways that we've been held in literature and held in our place, if you will, and this just definitely takes all of that and turns it on its ass, really, but it's amazing. So I've also been trying to clean out my bookshelves and get them organized by type. I've got all my YAs here and my adults and biographies in the upstairs den, and then like middle grade and business books in my bedroom. It's just nuts. But one of the books that I picked up is Jon Scieszka's Trucktown Smash Crash. I had a copy of this, but I unhauled it. But I wanted to read it first, and because David Shannon is on here, who I love, he makes picture books. Lauren Long I got to meet last month at the Bookworm Festival. Blue Willow puts it on in Houston. It's amazing. But I got to meet him and Matt De La Pena. And then I've met Jon Scieszka a couple of times, and he's amazing and so funny. He wrote The True Story of the Three Little Pigs with Alexander T. Wolf. Yeah. Anyway, I thought this was a cute book. If you have boys, you know, like toddler age, this is really funny. But they also had girl trucks in there, and I love that. So it's like equal representation of boys and girls, so show your girls this too. And then the funniest part was they had an ice cream truck, and the ice cream truck runs around going, ice cream, who wants ice cream, who wants ice cream? And all I could think of was that's definitely what an ice cream would say. Ice cream truck would say if an ice cream truck like existed. Anyway, this was really funny. You should check it out. I also read a NetGalley of Big Nate, Silent but Deadly. I have a lot of Big Nate books. So when I was teaching 3rd and 2nd grade, I often taught gifted students, and so they were reading like higher level books, and so they loved the Jeff Kenney, oh my gosh, the Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Oh my gosh. So they loved Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but they didn't get the humor in it. Big Nate is also a graphic novel, if you will, but the jokes are like 1 per page. And so every page has 4 little boxes that are like a joke. So I highly recommend Big Nate, actually, if you have like an older elementary kid who loves the graphic novels, but when they read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, they don't get any of the jokes or the sarcasm. This one is where to start. Lots of funny things about school and chores and friendships and teachers, and it's hysterical. I know they'll love it. Okay, then I checked out a book at the library called The Mothers. This was on everybody's read list a couple months ago. It was at Book of the Month Club. This is by Britt Bennett. It really follows, it tells it in multiple perspectives, but you really get the most perspective from the main female character. It's an African-American family, and the mothers kind of start every chapter out kind of talking about how they see this kind of relationship with the preacher's son develop with our kind of female protagonist. But you also get a little bit of insight into her best friend who, gosh, it's all kinds of drama in there. It's really good. I think I gave it a 4 stars. The ending was pretty good. You don't really get to see like what the protagonist ended up doing, like her whole life. It kind of leaves you up for like, you know, what's going on, but it sums up pretty much. Her mother dies when she's really young. She commits suicide, and so she's and doesn't leave a note or any kind of communication, so you don't really know what's going on with that and don't really ever figure anything out. But it's just, it's a good book. There is a trigger warning for abortion. That's kind of the whole theme that kind of ties within the book and ties the characters together too. And just kind of life after that decision, and not just the female but also the male who partakes in that. And you end up finding out about the boy's parents, who's the preacher, and his wife. So it's a bunch of drama, but it's really good. It's well written. It's very understandable. Like I think it takes place in like Santa Monica or Southern LA or something like that. But anyway, the characters are really good. The families are great. It's a good diverse read, so I recommend it, yes. I also finally finished The Boy in the Black Suit. This is by Jason Reynolds. He writes a lot of YA diverse books. He's always got an African American male protagonist. Sometimes, you know, with YAs, they go into other topics like sex and drugs and alcohol and things of that sort, and just trying out to kind of be adults. This book does not do that, which I really loved. This boy Matthew, he loses his mom to cancer, and so it's kind of following the next couple of months after that. He begins working at a funeral home. Yeah, funeral home, funeral parlor. Anyway, and he likes going to other people's funerals. It makes him kind of feel okay to watch other people grieving as much as he's grieving. And so the last half is about a girl that he meets that he's trying to like date, but she's got other things going on in her life as well. It doesn't breach on anything questionable, I guess you will. That way I feel okay as a teacher recommending it to like a 5th or 6th grader. But Jason Reynolds always has amazing, well-developed characters. There's great dialogue. I laughed many times throughout this, so definitely one to pick up. Anything by Jason Reynolds is always really good. And then the last book that I just wrapped up like yesterday is An American Marriage. This was awesome. I got kind of obsessed. I talked about this book to many people. It was actually recommended to me by the math specialist on my campus who listens to audiobooks and said there was a twist at the end, and I love twists at the end. I checked it out from the library, and so of course if it's on Oprah's book club it's going to be amazing. But this is about an African American couple. They're 1 year into their marriage, and he gets wrongly accused of raping a woman at a motel. They should have been staying at his parents' house, but he wanted him and the wife to feel more comfortable in the hotel. So he gets dragged out of the motel in the middle of the night, and he spends 5 years in prison. So a lot of the novel is writing letters back and forth from his wife and about what his wife's doing in the 5 years that he's put away, and kind of fighting through all of that. What is a marriage, defining what is love when you stay with someone. Yeah, it was really good. There is quite a bit of action the last 100 pages, I guess. It's only 300 pages, but like the last third of the book, there's a lot of switching around. I really like the ending. It does pretty much sum up everything that you need to know to be able to kind of wrap up the story in your mind. But really great. It talks also about the disproportionate rates of African American men in prison. It could have gone into that a little bit more, but I could see it wanted to stay on the main plot line, but definitely good for it to address it in here. But yeah, I, not being a person who is married or has ever been married, I thought it was really kind of raw into what marriage could look like day in and day out, and I really appreciated that about it. So I highly recommend it. I finished it in about a week and a half, and I'm a slow reader, so you guys can probably finish it in like 2 days. But anyway, really good. So I think that's all that I have to show you today. That was actually a lot more reading than I usually do, especially with how crazy busy it is. But March had spring break, so I got a chance to read a little bit more than usual. So April probably won't have that many books, but I've got 2 huge book festivals that I'm going to: San Antonio Book Festival and the North Texas Teen Book Festival. And then behind me I have a stack of books that I need to talk to you about at the Teen Book Con that was in Houston last weekend or the weekend before. So I've got a lot of video to shooting, but I've got a lot of video to shoot, but I wanted to make sure I shared with you what I read this month, because I need to get better at that, talking about what I did read. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought about them. And yeah, I hope that you have a great Easter if you celebrate Easter, and I hope that you have a great April Fool's Day and a great April, and I will talk to you guys later. See you in the next video. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Brandy from Brandy's Book World. Welcome back to my challenge. Welcome back to my channel.